r/time I ducked up by radical. Tifu by selling my nudes to my stepdad. Obligatory notice that this happened a couple of days ago. But I'm still recovering from it. Let me introduce myself real quick. I'm an effort who sell nudes and feet pics. Been doing this for almost 6 months now. Cause life is hard and I need money. I've been really discreet about it though. My family is too traditional for a closet bisexual hoe like me. And if they were to find out, my head would be on a platter and I knew it. So me, the sneaky know-it-all I thought myself to be, continued selling nudes and living my best life until the major duck up happened. 2 months ago, an elderly man DM'd me on Twitter asking to be his sugar babe. Knowing the scammers that lurk around, I didn't give much attention to that. His profile was new and anon with a few tweets and no face, has body pics though. So my suspicion grew. Also, I'm not open about my effortness on my Twitter handle, so when he DM'd out of the blue it felt weird. But this man was persistent. He DM'd again after a couple of days, saying that he has noticed the paypigs that follow me and kinda know that I'm an effort. And if I wasn't one he's sorry. I ignored again. But I was intrigued by this older man who has a decent TL, so being the beach I started stalking to know if he's legit or not. His page contained mostly political tweets and there was actual people interacting with him. My curiosity grew, so I thought it'd be a good idea to text him back, and that's when it all started. A week ago I got really horny at night and texted him. It was really late but he replied saying his wife is sleeping next to him and can't sext. I, being the obnoxious dumb doodle I am, somehow thought it'd be a good idea for him to go to the bathroom and film. He did as I said. I opened the video with the intention of masturbating. But boy, I was in for a surprise. I noticed the tiles on the wall behind him. At first, I felt numb. Then a shockwave went through my entire freaking body. I recognized the tub. The tiles are duck and blow tiles. The same tub I used to bathe. Holy ducking shit. That used to be my duckin' room. My mind went to dumb beach mode for a while. I sat in my room clueless. TF just happened? Did I trip? Was that my room? Or is my mind making up shit now? The doubt kept me sleepless through the night. You know the feeling you get when it's your finals next day and you haven't learned shit? That feeling. But I wasn't gonna let the doubt kill me, so, to make sure that I was wrong, the next day I asked him to give me a mirror selfie in his bathroom. And boy, was I right. He's in what used to be my bathroom. The bathroom that I first ducked in. Jesus. TLDR. Sold nudes to stepdad and made him jerk off to me. And now anxiety and embarrassment are strangling my ducking conscience. Tifu by picking up a hitchhiker and then showing up to my own funeral. This happened a few years ago and I was living in Zimbabwe at the time. And I was having a pretty bad day. I was going to see my auntie who lived about 400 kilometers away from me. If you're African you'll understand that this was no small journey. So I got in my car and set off, and about 3 hours into the journey I came across a dude by the side of the road who was going in the same direction. So out of the goodness of my heart I said jump in. We go to talking and he happened to be going to exact same village as me and he knew my auntie. Half an hour passes and we're making polite chit chat and reminiscing about old times in Zimbabwe. When all of a sudden he tell me to pull over. So I do. He runs out of the car and starts making retching noises. So I assume he's throwing up. It's dark at this point so I can't really see much. So I go check on him. First mistake. I get out and go to his side expecting him to be there but he's not. Then I hear someone behind me and before I know it I'm unconscious. So I wake up a couple hours later. Now this because the sun was coming up at this point, without my car, clothes or wallet. So I'm thinking great. I look around and see I'm on some farmland wearing the guy's clothes. So I start walking in no particular direction and eventually come across a settlement. It takes a good 2 days to get there and he drops me off and I say my goodbyes to my driver. I take down his number so I can repay him later on. At this point I'm starting to recognize my surroundings. I walk for a few miles and as I'm getting closer to my auntie's I can hear a lots of singing and what appears to be a large crowd, which I thought was strange. I'm about 100 feet from the house and I see my son, which again I thought was strange because he was meant to be in school at this time. But instead of running to me and hugging me as he normally does, he runs away screaming to my complete bewilderment. I get to the gate and all of a sudden the large crowd, alerted by my son's scream, has stopped singing and is stood silent. My wife appears and starts to run towards me, hugging and kissing me like I've been gone for months. My auntie appears and immediately faints when she sees me. I still have no clue what's going on at this point and I'm exhausted. So we rush to get my auntie inside and I see my picture on top of a large box that resembles a coffin sitting in the living room. So it turns out that the guy who robbed me and made off with my car, my wallet and all my clothes was in a car crash so bad that they couldn't identify the body, and because the only things they could use to identify him was my wallet, they assumed it was me that had died in the crash. Since there was no body of sorts, they could arrange the funeral pretty quickly, and that is what I had stumbled upon. My son still has nightmares to this day and my wife has told me never to pick up a hitchhiker ever again. TL. Doctor got carjacked. Robber died and family thought it was me. They arranged my funeral and I somehow managed to stumble upon my own funeral. Tifu by calling my girlfriend fat. So, this actually happened today. I know. Never happened before on this sub. But anyway, we're gonna need some context. So, I live in a pretty nice apartment building with a roommate. Let's call him Tim. I met my girlfriend because a few years ago she moved into the apartment next door. Let's call her Hannah. Anyway, I'm on the couch in the living room this morning when I'm eating a tub of ice cream. No shame really. Just going to town on it. I don't ever tell Hannah when I have ice cream, because the moment she finds out it's in my freezer, I have about T-4 seconds until it's gone. Tim and I have this kind of running joke about the fact that we don't tell our girlfriends about the ice cream we have because we don't want them getting fatter. Now, mind you, neither of them are fat at all. We just don't want to share the ice cream. So I have about a quarter of the container left. When Tim yells, "Hey OP, don't you think Hannah would appreciate it if you shared some of your ice cream with her?" So naturally my response was, if I give Hannah one more bite of ice cream she's going to be a clone of Rosie O'Donnell. So I'm gonna finish this for her sake. See? Here's where I ducked up. Hannah was in her bathroom when I said this. And her bathroom shares a wall with my living room. So she heard every word of that. Now, I didn't know she was in there, but I assume she must have already been in there an hour because it took about 20 seconds for her to knock on my door. And we all know women can't pass through the door of a bathroom twice in the same hour. At this moment I thought one of two things was about to happen. Either my girlfriend was about to use the remaining magic spells she had left to slay me down like Voldemort cutting down Harry's parents, or I was about to do a really poor job explaining what I just said. Sadly, despite the incredible shot, Hannah was not really a wizard and I had explanations to give. So while I'm fumbling over my words, Tim looks this girl in the eye and said to her, "OP makes jokes about your weight to me so that I will feel better about never having a girlfriend as pretty as you." I don't know what sorcery this guy was using, but Hannah looks at me and says, "Oh, you really think I'm that pretty?" TLDR, my roommate is the greatest bro of all time. My girlfriend is probably a little slow. Edit. We have reached the magical land known as the front page. I didn't know reaching this place was possible for mere mortals. But here we are. And it couldn't have happened without you guys. Edit 2. Gold. You're the best internet stranger. Edit 3. Tim is not black. Tim is the most pasty white person to ever walk the earth. Edit 5. Guys, the joke was that I was going to town on a tub of ice cream and Hannah was the fat one. We seem to be missing this crucial piece of evidence. So I would like to point it out. Final edit. I swear it's the last one. Okay, so I got home from work a few minutes ago. And as soon as I got back, Hannah knocked on my door. She looked really worried and my first reaction was, okay, she's trying to get me back. Don't buy into it. So I ask her what's wrong and she reaches into her pocket and pulls out a pregnancy test. What is this? It's my new iPad. What the duck do you think IT is? There's 2 lines on it. So she shows me on the thing it comes with that this means positive. So I'm freaking out and ask her what the hell we do. She tells me she already called her parents and they were pretty happy about it. But she's still really nervous. Okay. Yeah. I can call my mom. Except that my mom is incredibly religious. I could tell my dad. But he would make me call my mom and tell her. Whereas my mom will at least tell my dad. Okay, one call is better than two. Hey mom. It's OP. I'm calling with news. Yeah, what's up? Well. Hannah's pregnant. I said Hannah is yes. I heard you. So I'm gonna be a dad. That's exciting, yeah. So you're gonna be a grandma. Yes honey. I realize this. Sue. I guess that's it, alright. I will talk to you later. I hang up the phone. And Hannah bursts out laughing. What the duck was so funny about that? Oh, I had a girl pee on it at lunch today. You had a pregnant girl pee on a stick, so I would call my mom to tell her you were pregnant. No. I never thought you would call your mom and tell her. That was all you. TLDR again. I know, I'm sorry. Girlfriend got me back big time. Admitted to my religious mom I have premarital sex. Not going to really be a dad. Oh well. I guess I deserve that one. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for 3 videos a day.